Hello, my name is Tom Wallace. I'm the managing partner of Florida Funders, and I'm really excited to have with me today Zach Coelius, who's here from San Francisco in the Valley and has a really tremendous background in entrepreneurship and angel investing, and we'll get to that, Zach, in a second. But first, I wanted to, just for those of you who don't know, Florida Funders, we're a hybrid between a venture capital fund and a crowdfunding platform. And we're geo-targeted on Florida, and we're scouring the state all the time looking for the best, brightest founders and looking to find, fund, and help build the next generation of technology companies. We've been at this for about 3 years. We've done 22, we've backed 22 companies, invested in 22 companies with about 10 follow-ons. We've deployed roughly $12 million in capital. And we're growing, and we're going to even do we'll probably double that this year, so we're very excited about that. As part of what we do, we try to help new investors get exposed to angel investing, why you want to do it, lessons learned, best practices, and that's what this podcast series is about. So with that, again, this is Zach Coelius, and Zach, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your background?
Yes, I'm first of all happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
It's fun to be in Tampa. I'm a four-time entrepreneur. Spent about 20 years starting companies. I like to say I've never really had a real job. But we sold the last company in 2015. It's a company called Tricket, so it's in the advertising space. And I transitioned out of the business and was now kind of shifted over to becoming a full-time investor. Been doing that for about 4 years. Very lucky. Some of my early investments did very well, and so now we have about $50 million in deployed capital. Had a couple big wins early on, and now I'm a full-time VC.
Okay, well, and it's very common for a lot of investors or previous entrepreneurs. You and I were talking about this a little earlier, and I like what you said, so I'm going to ask you about it again. So what do you like better, being an entrepreneur or being an investor?
I mean, they're different. They're very different. I like to joke that I'm a washed-up entrepreneur, but I washed up on the beach, and the beer is cold, and it's much warmer and nicer, just chilling out doing what I'm doing now compared to being an entrepreneur. But I think there's nothing like the joy of creating something. There's nothing like that the sort of like the rush of being part of a team that's winning and building and succeeding. There's nothing quite as brutal as the beatings you take in that job, because I think like entrepreneurs by definition, we rise to our levels of incompetence. You know, we hit the barriers of our limitations. Whatever it is that you're not good at, that's what you run into. And unfortunately, when you grow at 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x growth rates, you're moving very quickly when you hit those barriers, and you plow into those walls at very high speeds. Things break, sometimes yourself, sometimes your team, sometimes everything. And your job is to sort of like constantly go through this process of plowing into those walls, fixing things, getting around the wall, and then plowing into the next wall. So it's a brutal job. When someone is talented,
it's not for the faint of heart, right?
How? When someone as talented as Elon Musk and can compare it to chewing on glass, and he is Elon Musk, you have to, yeah. I was deeply humbled by my experience as an entrepreneur. It's the hardest job in the world.